Rick, maybe take us through practice today.
Yeah, I think it was a good practice after our day off. You know, usually when we have a stinker, usually this team does a really good job of that. You know, whenever we practice, we have a good practice, and it usually helps our game. So that's something that we talked about. You know, it's a little bit on me. I've let it. I think the practices have to be a little bit more fundamental and driven, more detailed, more than ever. So I think that's more on me. Where I got to make sure I steer that ship more in the fundamental department.
Some extra lines and whatnot in there just to sort of raise the energy requirement. Just skating lines that skate back. You know.
Yeah, we need. Yeah, I just find we need some skating legs. I just think that like I said, back to fundamentals. Might have to do that a little bit more often now. Probably have to dial down some of the practices where we need to look for details, and if it's not being done right, do it again. I think we did that last year, and I think just from the last 9 games, I've just reevaluated myself that we're going to have to do that more fundamentals with this team.
What will Forbort have to do to get back in the lineup?
Yeah, I think when he's comfortable, I'll probably talk to him probably on the plane today, see if he feels like maybe he can go tomorrow. I'll ask him, see how he feels.
So in his case, it's more just where his head's at.
Well, I just think, in his skate, he didn't skate there a lot. Yeah, I think, but he's ready. He'll be ready soon.
What about Joshua?
Yeah, same thing. It's, I don't even know. Yeah, I would say it's day to day, but see how comfortable, where he feels really good to go. We'll take it another practice more and see where he's at.
When he is ready, what does he bring to this lineup?
Well, I think the attitude, I know you guys know how I feel about body position and wall work. I think he's good at that, and I think he could add a boost to our team with that, with winning battles, and just the way his presence in front of the net. He's a tough guy to play against. So anytime you add a guy like that in the lineup, it's contagious.
One of those lead by example type.
Oh yeah, and he's got a good chemistry with Garland. That's something we could look for if he gets back, maybe.
Does how he play exemplify what you want to see from more or less everybody? Like his game, is that the kind of game you'd like the team to have?
Yeah, I think. Well, he's a bit of you need system guys, right? You want guys to be creative. You can't be just 100% system. You got to be creative, and sometimes you're going to make your own reads out there. But I think he knows on certain times where we count on a guy to be there at that time. 9 times out of 10, he'll be there. I can name 3 or 4 guys that we know that guys. We just need more of the same attitude. Where guys have to be where they're supposed to be at certain times. Other times when we have the puck and you feel something, you want to go and be creative, go for it. But I just think he's a guy that he's a system guy.
So with what the team has been going through, kind of scuffling a little bit, trying to find their identity, is he a guy who helps get the identity back?
Yeah, he's a voice in the room that, hey, we need this from the team and certain guys. And he's one of those guys. I thought he really grew as a leader last year. He was, when I first got him, he was a real quiet guy, but I thought as the season went on, the way he was playing, he started to have a voice in there.
Rick, you always talk about milestones or markers.
Yeah,
or
landmarks.
Landmarks.
Yeah.
I want to be on
No.
Where are you with DeBrusk? Because when goal scorers, if he had 100 shots and it hit some posts and a bunch of chances, it's one thing. But it's been a little too quiet, I think, around him. So where is he with landmarks?
Yeah, I think with Jake, I had good talk with him today. He wants to score the goal, but which everybody wants to score. And I hate to say it, I'm sure I want him to score, but I want him to play the game first, not so much the right way. Like if we're asking you to be in a landmark, if you continue it, you'll get that goal. But if you kind of venture and you're on the outside and you're not in the battle position, it's hard to get out of those slumps. So I think he's got to just worry about his complete game. The goals will come. And then sometimes when you're in those landmarks and there's a loose puck or a position to get a 2-on-1, you're in position where you're not on the outside, where that 2-on-1 opportunity becomes a 2-on-2.
You were on the ice earlier. Can you see a timeline yet?
Yeah, I think I'll be honest, I check him every once in a while. I know he's had some consecutive chunks of good days, and Yeah, but I don't know, you know, maybe it's a bigger window. I don't know, I think. But like I said, I haven't checked on him in a couple of days.
Much of the game we know is mental, right, and confidence, and I think it probably even more so for younger players. So Shilov's, you know, with comparing what he's doing right now compared to what he did in the playoffs, obviously a stark difference. Are you concerned about sort of his confidence and where he is mentally?
Yeah, I think it's hard, right? Because you know, if you don't feel good about yourself and you got to wait 3 or 4 or 5, 6 days, then you know, it wears on your mind. Sometimes when you go right back in, sometimes you can get back to your game quicker. But there are some things on the ice that he has to get better at, and Marco's been working with him. You know, those scrambles in front, they're finding their way in. I didn't see, last year they weren't, and you know, that's a goalie that's out of my pay grade. But I just feel like on those get really battled down a little bit more, and I think that's something that we're asking them to do.
Do you pay attention to body language?
Yeah, not just him, a lot of guys. When things don't go your way, and I'm not saying Artie, I'm saying the team, and I've had that speech last year, and I think probably not that speech with a lot of our guys right now, is the defeated at it. Like, we're 4-2-3. You know, this is, we're in okay shape in the sense that way, but it's, to me, it's the mental aspect, our game, and I think body language is something that we got to work on.
So you've been seeing signs of that creeping back in, the negative one?
Yeah. I mean, not to the extent when I first got here, but it's creeping back in, and you know, that's my job to make sure that I address it.
I suppose that helps so that you can point to last year and say, guys, we hit the standard, you can do this.
Well, you know, you know, the arrow's gone up. You know, last year we've crept. You know, there's that plateau. Now, that next plateau it's uncomfortable. It's higher expectations. There's a lot of, so are we going to keep going this way, or are we going to, is the arrow going down a little because it gets too hard? We're at that state right now. It's only, like I said, the 10th game, I guess, when we play San Jose, so it's not critical, but it has to be mentioned. And I think as a group, the players have to take a hold of that and say, how do we get to that next level of being uncomfortable?